this session so that we can post this on our website for folks that aren't able to make this time. But thanks to those of you who've joined us to learn more about our program. It's wonderful to see some new names and faces. So I'll just introduce myself really quickly. My name's Andrea Ramos Lewis, and I'm the Assistant Director for College Programs in the Shelton Leadership Center at NC State. All that just means that I am one of the two program directors for this program with another long name, the Chancellor's Leadership Development Program. And our program has been around for 3 years and was created and continues to be around to serve first-generation college students and rural students that are coming into NC State. So that's our primary purpose, and we have a really awesome program that has grown a lot over the past few years. I've got several of our students here today to help answer questions and tell you more about their experiences, as well as another staff member from our office. So I'll let folks on our side introduce themselves really quickly, and then I'm just going to give a brief overview of the program, and we're going to open it up for questions. Y'all can also feel free to use the chat function to ask questions at any point, and our staff and students will answer those as they come in, and we can also address them via the video as well. So I'll let Sierra introduce herself, and then our students as well that are here.
Hi everyone, I'm Sierra Smith. I'm the other program director and the program specialist for college programs in the Shelton Leadership Center at NC State.
Kaylin.
Okay. Hi, I'm Kaylin. I guess I'm a junior now. I am a chemistry major with a dance minor. And yeah.
Where are you from, Kaylin?
Oh, I'm from Marion, North Carolina. So,
Braley.
Hey guys, I'm Braley. I'm from Rocky Mount, North Carolina. I'm a junior now, and I've been a part of the CLDP family for 2 years now. So.
Awesome. Ellen.
Hi, I am Ellen Denning. I am from Warrenton, North Carolina. I am an English education major, and I am a sophomore now in the.
Awesome. Yesenia?
Hi, I'm Yesenia. I am a junior now, and my major is genetics with a minor in psychology, and I'm from Conway, North Carolina.
And Chloe.
Hey guys, I'm Chloe. I'm a sophomore now. I'm from Marburg, North Carolina, and I'm a human bio major.
Awesome. So all those folks that just introduced themselves are available to ask questions. So if you have specific questions for folks, you can direct them to them or to me and Sierra. And like I said, please feel free to use the chat function if you have specific questions or you don't feel like asking directly over this channel. But it's really nice to see the people. We've never done this before, so we didn't know if anybody would show up. So I'm glad that the message got out and that there's folks that are interested in our program. So just as a brief, like very big picture overview of the program, the way it is structured right now is a 2-year program for incoming NC State students and is a cohort-based program. So what that means is that you come in with a group of 20 to 25 other first-year students, and you experience the program together over 2 years. So there's 4 big areas that I like to talk about with the CLDP, which is how we refer to it internally because it's too many letters and names. So the first one is the intentionality that we do with mentoring. So throughout your time in the program, you will have access to at least 5 different mentors at various levels. So in your first year of the program, you'll get matched with a peer mentor who's a sophomore or junior in the program to answer your questions and help you acclimate to NC State. You'll also have what we call group mentors. So our first year students get put into small groups within that cohort, and you get matched with a faculty and a staff mentor on campus to help you navigate transitioning to college classes and just figuring out all the things that NC State has to offer. So those are usually groups of 4 to 5. So you get to know some of your fellow students better, and then you get to connect with a faculty member outside of the classroom, which is really cool. And then also some other staff. So you get to learn more about how a university works, and all the different things are at play as you make decisions and navigate. And then later in the program, we match folks individually with professionals in the local community in your intended major or career field, and then also individually match folks with faculty who are studying your area of interest or within your major or college. So lots of mentoring opportunities within our program. It's a pretty foundational piece. Another huge part of our program is the connection to our office. So the Shelton Leadership Center has been at NC State for almost 20 years, and we do programs for high school students, college students, and also in the local community. And the Chancellor's Leadership Development Program is a big piece of that. So we also have a larger staff that work with other programs, and so we have certain programs that are offered through our office that you would have access to that other students don't. Also offering access to our staff members that are from a variety of industries and backgrounds. So we have Sierra and myself run this program, and so we meet with every student in the program every month as a personal connection point as you transition to NC State and helping you with your continued success as a student. And then you also get opportunities to engage with our other staff members. Another big piece of the program is the leadership development part of the program. So we do, for first year students, we will start having weekly seminars for that first fall semester. That's a new piece that we're implementing for the program to really help you with your academic and personal transition to NC State, to make sure you're getting off on the right track and have all the resources and things that you need to be successful. And then beyond that in the program, we do monthly seminars and have lots of other opportunities for engagement. We do service activities. We have opportunities to go to the Chancellor's residence on campus and engage with Chancellor Woodson and his wife, Mrs. Woodson. Lots of cool opportunities like that that are pretty unique to our program. And then the fourth big component of the program would be our enrichment experiences, which are our travel opportunities. So all the students that do our program get access to funding for a service trip that we do with our program in the second year of the program. And then as we transition now to having an optional third year of the program, we do an international trip every year. So just before the world ended last month, I took some of the folks that are on this call today to London for a week, and we got to have an awesome study abroad experience there. And we went there last year as well. And then we've done service trip wise, we've done 3 service trips. We were actually supposed to be in DC right now on that trip, but we've pushed it back to next year. But we've been to New Orleans and we've been to Nashville on service trips for a week. And the service trips are completely paid for by our program, so students don't pay anything. And the international trip is about 70% funded by our office. Very little is on the student end. So lots of opportunities for personal and professional development in this program to help you be successful at NC State and beyond. We're really trying to bridge the gap that a lot of first generation college students feel coming to NC State, not knowing exactly how to navigate such a large institution and all the things that come along with that, and really help put you on the path to whatever you want to do in the future by building connections and connecting you to resources and people that are looking for you to be successful as well. That's a big piece of our program. The Chancellor and his wife both grew up in rural parts of Arkansas, and when they came to NC State, felt really strongly about creating a program for students that identified like them, who didn't know a lot of things compared to their peers, and really wanted to bridge that gap. And that's why they asked our office to lead this program. So that's a very high level. There's a lot of other pieces of the program that exist. But I'd like to turn it over to the folks that have joined us and are interested in the program to answer your questions. And I'll let the students answer them as well. So you can unmute yourself and ask, or you can send us questions in chat. Either are fine.
I have a question. I'm Shannon.
Hi, Shannon.
Hi. So I was wondering what the difference is between the Shelton scholarship and this scholarship.
That's a great question. So the Shelton National Scholarship is a 4-year program, and has a very different application process than ours. I should have mentioned that too. You might have questions about the application process. We are happy to answer those as well, and I can talk a little bit more about that. So the Shelton National Scholarship is a 4-year program, and that is financially offers different opportunities. So that's like a set scholarship that those students get. Whereas our program has a very small scholarship, but a lot of opportunities through the different programmatic pieces that you get the financial benefits in a different way. Their program, like I said, also is 4 years. Ours is 2 with an optional 1 year. A big reason behind that is a lot of the students that we have in the Chancellor's program are coming in from early colleges or already have their AA degrees. And so most of our students finish in 3 years or sometimes less. So ours is just structured a little bit differently in what we're offering. But the Shelton's National Scholars and CLDP students also get to interact. We took both groups to London last year, and so there's a lot of overlap of different opportunities that are available.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Are folks interested in a little bit more about what our application process looks like and those pieces? That's fine too. What other questions do y'all have for us, or for some of the students? If you'd like to hear about their experiences or why they chose to do the program, or what has been beneficial for them being part of it. Yes, we can. So, okay, cool. So we can discuss the application process a little bit more. So this year is the first year that we're doing it through PAC Assist. Hopefully everyone has been able to get into that system a little bit and see what that looks like. So our process is a little bit different than others. We don't look at your GPA from high school. We don't look at your SAT or ACT scores. We don't look at what you were involved with in high school. Our philosophy is that if you got into NC State, you're good enough to be in the program. And so we're really looking for folks that are interested in this program and how it can help them in their journey at NC State. So we just look at the 5 essay questions and the video and the reference for consideration into CLDP. So we're looking for folks that want to learn and that want to really develop as leaders and who show potential. We're not looking for perfect. We're not looking for polish. We're not looking for, you know, everything and everyone. We want folks that want to learn with us. A big part of our office is that we're all lifelong learners and that we're all learning together. And so that's truly the piece that we're looking for as part of the application. Like I said earlier, we take 20 to 25 students each fall. We typically have around 100 that end up applying and submitting all of the materials, so it's fairly competitive. But we review all the applications that we get that have all the completed components. And really, we're just looking for those pieces I just talked about of interest in who we are and what we do, and how what our program offers could be a good fit for you personally. And then we'll be making decisions this year the first week of June, and we'll be hoping to bring folks on board a little earlier this year, given everything that's happening with the pandemic. We're hoping to transition folks this summer and really provide an opportunity for incoming students to engage with us in a different way, since orientations and all these things are up in the air and going to look a little bit different. So we're really trying to bridge that gap, and which is why we've pushed up this process a little bit, so that there's time to get to know our community and feel like you know people before you come to state.
Is there an interview process, or do you just get it?
There are no interviews, so it's just the application materials. So somebody asked here, where can you find the pieces that are needed for the application? So if you go into the PAC Assist system, I don't have the ability to view it as a student, but if you go into PAC Assist, if you found out about this, you got an email from them, you should see opportunities, and then you should see our program. So there is also the Chancellor's Leadership Scholarship, which is different than our program, and they're not connected in any way. Very confusing. But the scholarship and the program are 2 different things. So if you go into the program application right there on PAC Assist, it's Stephanie that's asking that question, the essay questions should then pop up. as well as a space to put a reference and then a place to upload. We have one video essay as well there. But if you are having trouble finding that, we can, once we wrap up, I'm happy to do a screen share and at least show what it looks like from my side to show you where that should be from the student view. So I don't know if that's helpful, Stephanie, if you know, if any of what I just said made sense. If it doesn't, feel free to say that and we can connect you also one-on-one with one of our students and they can try to hop on and figure it out with you as well. Erin asked about our service trips. What do you do when you go on the service trip? So I'll let one of our students answer that. Kaylin, do you want to talk about that?
I can. So whenever we went, I went on the Nashville service trip, and Braley and Yesenia were also there as well. So if I missed something, guys, chime in. So we were there, what, a full week, right?
Yeah.
We were there for a week. And we volunteered with 4 different organizations while we were there. And they were, Second Harvest Food Bank was one. We also, Project Cure was another. We volunteered at the Nashville Men's like center, I guess. And then what was the last one? But
State Park.
Oh yeah, in the state park, Ragnar Lake State Park. So we volunteered while we were there and we helped with these different issues around the Nashville area. And so we really got to get in and see, sorry, there's an ambulance. We really got to get in and see those issues and how they impacted like the locals. But we also got to do fun stuff. So we went to like Cheekwood Botanical Gardens and we got to see the Parthenon and go to, we did so much. We went to a honky tonk for just a minute. That was very interesting. But we got to do a lot. So we were there a full week, sorry. And we got to explore Nashville, but also we got to help out while we were there. It was really cool.
Yeah, and one thing to kind of add on that, we really look at kind of the effects that, you know, the issues in those communities have. So for example, like with Nashville, directly helping with them, it's insightful to see what's going on in one community that's so different from like where you're at, either your home or like where you're at in college. So we tried to kind of take all those experiences, and after that, we've kind of tried to apply them to our situation here in the Triangle, kind of see what overlaps, what's more unique for that. So you'll get a really interesting perspective on how service, both locally and somewhere else, can kind of overlap in, you know, kind of building your skills and just kind of shaping your view on service and leadership as a whole. So that's something to take note of.
Yeah, I'll just add on to that. From that experience, that was a year ago that we did that. Wow, it feels like longer than that. But the students in the program decided when we came back from that trip that they, after learning about a lot of different issues, wanted to focus on one issue. And so this year we developed a relationship with one organization in Raleigh, the Interfaith Food Shuttle, and have spent the year as a whole program learning a lot more about food insecurity in the area. And that was supposed to be the theme of our DC service trip, was working with multiple organizations in DC that are addressing food insecurity, to really look at that, like how it affects us, how it affects DC in a very different context, but also with a lot of similarities. And then we were also supposed to do that in London, but our trip got cut a day short because of the pandemic. We were going to work at a community kitchen in London as well. And so we're really looking at trying to understand issues from a local, national, and global context, as students in the program are figuring out how you can contribute your own unique leadership skills to addressing bigger issues and problems in the world around you. So looking at it from kind of a cool and unique lens. Yeah, definitely an awesome experience. I love taking y'all on those. So Lindsay, this is a great question. I apologize for the confusion. So students can be in the Chancellor's Leadership Program, Chancellor's Leadership Development Program, and you can also have the Chancellor's Leadership Scholarship. They're not exclusive of each other. So you can have both or you can have either. They're just not connected of like you have to have one to have the other. I don't know if that helps answer that question, but the scholarship is a totally different process for qualifying for it and then getting it. Our program is a completely separate entity, but we do have students every year that have the scholarship and are in the program.
Wait, so that the application on PAC Assist is for the program?
Yes.
And then the scholarship has...
I think the scholarship is also on PAC Assist, which makes it confusing. Yeah. The only differentiator is that it'll say Chancellor's Leadership Scholarship and Chancellor's Leadership Development Program.
Best way to decipher the
Oh, sorry, hold on, I can't hear you. Can you repeat? Oh, maybe we froze. Sometimes the technology does fail us. I think maybe that was Isa who was trying to talk. If you want to type your question, we can try to answer it. These are great questions.
Is there a lot of conflict? Like, you guys do a lot of things to... I'll type it out.
I didn't hear any of that. Okay, thank you. Okay, when you're in this program, is there a lot of conflict with classes and activities at state? Which of our students wants to take that question? Chloe.
Me personally, I would say no. I am a work study student. So I'm a research assistant and I'm a science major. So I have like labs that happen sometimes in the evening. And I don't think I've ever missed an event for CLDP. We're really good at making sure that a lot of the events fit into everybody's schedule. But if something were to happen, as long as you're able to like communicate, and it's not like a reoccurring thing, but if you're able to just communicate to Andrea why you can't come, like if it's a class or something, then she'd be very understanding. It's happened before, but personally, I don't think there's ever been conflict with classes or activities. You can still go to football games, basketball games, your clubs, your village meetings, everything you want to do. Have time with friends. There's plenty of time to do everything.
Yeah. I would say, I'll let y'all, the students chime in. I mean, typically with CLDP, you're looking at 1 to 2 hours a week max that you would be, have stuff going on. The fall, the first fall semester is a little bit busier because we will meet weekly, but in general, I would say, 1 to 2 hours at the absolute max each week. And the vast majority of the things that we do are scheduled around y'all's schedules. So with a few exceptions, there are times that are set, but we work with everyone with class. If there's a course conflict, that's always excused. We work with folks with working in different pieces. Are any of the students on a sports team and find difficulty having balance? We have had, last year we had a softball player in CLDP that was in the program. It was harder, I would say, but definitely was not impossible. Sierra and I, as the staff members, are willing to be flexible. Like that student, had a lot of requirements being a student athlete. So like I would meet with her for our meetings, like at times that I normally wouldn't. So, which was fine. Like I'd meet with her first thing in the morning. We'd meet at 8 a.m. or something to accommodate her sports schedule. But in general, we didn't have any conflicts. She did everything that the program asked. And I think it was a nice escape almost because her sport kept her so busy that it was something different. So typically hasn't been an issue. They're great questions.
You'll also know about a lot of the events and stuff scheduled like sometimes a month or more out. So you can go ahead and like throw them on your calendar or in the Google Doc we use Google Calendar all the time, so you'll be sent a reminder the day of, and stuff like that. So there's some times where it might overlap or it might slip your mind, but generally there's enough warning and pretty much everybody's accountable enough to kind of remind people and, you know, get a heads up. So you'll be able to work around it. It's possible.
Also, that's another piece of our program, which I think is really nice, is that being part of this program means you have a community before you even set foot on campus. So we've progressively taken more students each year. So we have 17 sophomores that will be in the program this year. And then we have 6 juniors that are choosing to do a 3rd year of the program, which I said is optional. So before you ever virtually or in person set foot on campus, you'll get to know 23 different people from all different parts of the state in all 10 colleges, all different majors, lots of different backgrounds and interests and experiences. I mean, we've got folks from genetics and animal science majors to chemistry and biology to architecture and fashion and textile design, English majors, you know, really the whole gamut, humanities majors, and everybody and anybody in between. I think that's one of the pieces of our program that's really cool, is that you get to meet a lot of different people from a lot of different parts of campus, which is really cool. So what other questions do y'all have for us? It could also be questions about state. That's fine too. Happy to answer those questions as you're figuring out what the next few months are gonna look like and all this uncertainty. I know our students would be happy to answer any questions that you have, general questions as well. I can try to quickly do a screen share just to make sure if there's folks that aren't sure where the application is, to try to show that. So let me pull that up really quickly and we'll see what we can do as far as viewing that. Okay, so let's take a look at this real quick. So if you search for NC State PAC Assist, you should be able to navigate to that website. I'm pretty sure you have to create a login, but once you have created your Unity ID for NC State, so once you've accepted that you're going to NC State, you should be able to get into that system. And you should see an opportunities page like this. And some of the older students can confirm that this is kind of what yours looks like. I'm getting some nods, okay. So when you come down and look at the different opportunities that are available, you should see, it's not gonna show it for me because I'm not a student, but you should see our program and be able to get into that. So this just gives you the overview of the program, but there should be a button here of some sort to apply. And then you would be able to see the different essay questions and stuff to apply for our program. I don't know if that helps at all. I know that's not super specific for what that looks like. This is the general application for university scholarships when you get into that system. And once you do that, you can see a whole bunch of other scholarship opportunities that are available through NC State, and ours is just part of that. So I don't know if that helps. I'm happy to answer other questions about that and try to help folks if you really cannot get in. I'll put my email address in the chat, my direct email address. So if you're like, I'm just not figuring this out, please feel free to email me and I'm happy to set up a time one-on-one to help you figure that out as well. What other questions do folks have? Okay, let's see. Is it possible to just apply for the program and later offers you a scholarship? Yeah, so most years we are able to offer a small scholarship for the program. It's typically between $200 and $300 in the spring semester. It's just not like a definite amount. It's increasing over the years. I wouldn't say it's something that you should bank on as far as your financial aid. I think it's like a bonus. And some people's financial aid doesn't end up helping them just because of how financial aid works and all the weird pieces of that. But I'm happy to answer more of those questions via email. If you have like a specific scenario, happy to answer that. Okay, I followed along and notice it says that the program includes an annual scholarship. Yeah, so that's the annual scholarship it's referring to. It's just that small one, $200 to $300, and that gets awarded in the spring semester, but that's not a fall semester award. Yes, and the program has $8,000 in benefits. So some of those benefits through the program that we're referring to over the course of the 2 years, so that we do typically we do a weekend retreat each fall. So we take all the students in the program either to the beach or the mountains for a full weekend of getting to know each other and lots of fun activities. But obviously has a big expense. That service trip that I mentioned is completely paid for by the center, so that's a big piece of this. And then about 70% of that international trip is also paid for. So that's the big pieces where that like monetary benefits of being part of the program come in. There's other ones like our office, the Shelton Leadership Center, holds an annual leadership conference every year, and our students are able to attend that for free. That registration is typically $200. We have lots of other program opportunities like that throughout the 2 years. I'm trying to think of what else would be part of that. The trips are the big one. And then for students that that don't choose to go on the international trip with us, we have a $1,200 stipend that's available for you to do like your own study abroad experience or an alternative spring break. So that funding can be used in other places if you choose not to do the international trip with us. So that's part of this as well. You get more if you do our international trip because we pay beyond the $1,200 for that experience. We also send students to leadership conferences around the state. We were supposed to go to one at UNC Greensboro with a small group this year. That's something our office would have paid for the transportation and funding for. Trying to think of what else is part of that. We also do different, pieces through our program, like different leadership assessments and inventories that cost money through our office. There's a lot of different pieces of that, but yeah, I hope that answers the question. When do we go on the service trip? So for the past couple of years, we've gone after the spring semester ends, but starting next year, it'll be over spring break. So for the sophomores in our program, their spring, if the world is still functioning, the sophomores will go to DC, potentially next spring break. And then the international trip is also over spring break. So then our juniors go over spring break as well. Great questions. I'm guessing y'all caught on there's a lot of different pieces of the program. It's hard to describe on one website page all the different components of it. So it can sometimes be confusing, I think, on the applicant side of like, what the heck is this? But I'm gonna turn over to some of our current students just to talk about why they have stayed in the program and what has been beneficial for them. And maybe that will prompt some more questions from what they share with you. So I won't call any of y'all out, but if anybody wants to share a little bit more, please feel free. And if you specifically want to talk about how it's valuable as a first generation student, as a rural student, I think that'd be great.
I can go first if everybody's cool.
Yeah, thanks. So.
This program, I was a part of a village when I came on campus, like a living learning village. I don't know if some of you have applied through housing. So I did that as well as this program, and this program was by far my favorite thing that I've done on campus. I stuck around with the program because we have something we sort of touched on was retreats, and we've done like a fall retreat where Andrea said we would go to the mountains or the beach. My group went to the beach for a weekend, and that's a time where we really connected, and I felt coming to state that I couldn't really connect with many people because they were not from many circumstances that I was from. But this program really gave me a strong support system and a family, and I think I stayed for the support more than anything. I also stayed because sometimes I get fed, which is always a bonus for me. But now I feel like everything that I've done in the program, no matter how boring it sounds, like going to a forum or hearing a speaker has always been fun because of the people that I'm with. And it always has felt like a benefit to me, which is not often what you get, especially in something that's connected to education, because it often feels like it's a waste of your time, unfortunately. But I really enjoyed this program. And that's all that I have.
I can go next. So I chose this program just because it sounded cool. And it was really cool. I'm kind of the same way as Ellen. Like, I came into state, and state is as big as my hometown, as big as the county I'm from. So it was a huge jump in like size, and I've never been anywhere so big as Raleigh. So going in, I automatically had someone to go to convocation with and to go get ice cream with after convocation. Like, that was really cool. And on top of all the immediate resources, I got an internship through this program as well. One of my mentors actually gave me an internship in her lab. So it takes you farther than the 2 years. Like, there's so much more that you can do than what is offered. So there's a lot of like reciprocal, like extra stuff that you can get from it, which is really cool. And it's super unique to this program, I think.
That's a great point, Kaylin. I'll jump into. So our office, the Shelton Leadership Center, has 2 leadership minors that we offer to NC State students. So one is a team decision-making minor, and there are several courses that are offered through our office that our staff are also faculty teach. And then we also have a brand new global leadership minor that just launched this spring, which is really cool. You take one class at NC State, and then you do the rest of the minor during a semester abroad in 3 different countries. So that's just like another opportunity that's through our office that it helps to know people, that you get access to different opportunities like Kaylin said. And so, we have multiple faculty members that are part of our staff as well. I think for a university as big as NC State, it can be hard to like develop relationships with faculty and to feel like you have a smaller community and that you have access to, some of your classes could have 100+ people, and it can be really hard to develop relationships with faculty. And our program and our office gives a bridge to that makes it really easy, that a lot of students don't necessarily get to experience. And I don't like to harp on it too much because they're just people, but not many students get to go to the Chancellor's residence and have dinner with him. That's not a thing that people do. Our students get really used to it because they do it so often, but most faculty and staff have never met the Chancellor or been to his home on campus. And so there's a ton of opportunities there through just our connections with the Chancellor and, the pieces that come along with that, which is really cool. But all the other people share as well about how the program has impacted them.
I can go. Wait, can y'all hear me? Okay. So when I came to state, I thought that, everything was going to go perfect and it was going to be great. And like, I was really excited to come. But then, like Kaylin mentioned, it's just such a big place that it's hard to really navigate everything. As terms of programs or just trying to figure out where you're going to go. Fun fact, I'm really bad with directions. But like, when you get all these emails and you see all these opportunities and you're just like, what am I supposed to be doing? There's no right set path to figure out what you're supposed to be doing. But when I joined CLDP and I finally got to meet everybody, it kind of just like helped center me throughout the process. So I was able to figure out what was worth my time. I was able to figure out more about myself. I was able to self-reflect. I was able to meet a bunch of great people. I was surrounded by people who supported me like 120%. But I hope you guys wouldn't feel like, I know, like Ellen saying, I don't know if it sounds boring to you. It didn't sound boring to me, but it's not a waste of time. If anything, it saves your time. Like it literally filters out everything that you need to do for college to help you for yourself and for the real world, instead of just wasting your time with other things that may or may not be good for you. So I know for sure, like this program, it filters out everything that you really need to do, and it helps you with other opportunities, and it helps you have fun. It's not all like business. It, you know, it's fun too. So like, it's just a good thing to be a part of. And like I was mentioning earlier, it doesn't take up all your time, so you're still able to do other things. It's just a great thing to have as part of your college experience, in my opinion.
Yeah. And touching on what Chloe said, there's a lot of opportunities that you get with the program that you feel more inclined to go to or participate in with this very small group of people that you begin to, you know, develop relationships with and grow with. And you'll get opportunities for stuff like financial and mental health and all these other seminars that you might not go to if you just see like a billboard in Tally Student Union for it, where there's 300 people in a lecture room with one guest speaker. You might not, you might not know anybody there. You might not be really interested to go to those, but when it's such a small group and you get this very engaging kind of one-on-one or very close to that experience, it lets you take advantage of all these different things that are on campus without feeling like, oh, I have to go to this, you know, big scary thing that's going to be a waste of my time. So I'm just going to not go. You'll get all these skills and these resources and be able to have a pretty close, pretty intimate kind of experience of those, because it's not a lecture hall full of people or some guest speaker from somewhere talking to a bunch of people. I mean, these are pretty finely tailored experiences that help you grow as a student, as a person, as a leader. And, you know, it's great. I know for certain it's helped me through some doors that I wouldn't have gone into myself had I not been in the program. And so, yeah.
And like to go off of what Braylon said, the support that the program offers is really huge, and is one of the main reasons that I decided to in a program. Because if you are in a program, you'll know that Andrea is probably one of our biggest support systems on campus. It's really, and the program offers so many opportunities, like networking opportunities. And like Lynn said, she got an internship, but I was able to meet a genetic counselor, which is what I want to be after college. And she helped me shadow and see what it would be like to work as one in person. And so I wouldn't have gotten that or even met her without this program. So it's a really good program.
And something to add on to that, there are not many like bigger people on campus supporting you when you get there, or at least that have like singularly your best interests in mind. But Andrea is definitely someone that has always fought tooth and nail for the people in the program, and I think that's really important because you don't tend to have specifically a staff, someone that works at NC State making sure that you have everything that you need. That's something phenomenal, and you just don't tend to get anywhere else.
Thanks y'all for sharing. Well, if folks don't have any more questions, we can stick around and maybe I'll have our students, if you all want to put your names and then your email addresses in the chat, if you would like to connect with them one-on-one and ask them more questions, I'll have them put their names and email addresses in there so you can contact them. And my email is in here as well. I'll put it in there again too. Happy to answer more questions. If you're having issues with the application or still just trying to figure out how to get to it, happy to help folks with that as well. The application does close on Friday, and we start reviewing applications next week. So like I said, we're excited to bring in the next cohort group of students and help y'all navigate NC State and make the most of your experience. So happy to stick around for the next 5-10 minutes and answer any questions. If folks want to wait till other people leave or whatnot, I'm happy to do that. And then, like I said, also via email. So Ellen, Kaylin, Chloe, Yesenia, Braylee, and yeah. And then Sierra and myself, as well as the staff members, are happy to answer questions. So thank you for coming by and giving us some of your time. I hope that it was helpful in either making a decision to apply or still being in considering applying if you've already submitted your application. But folks who have applied should expect to hear from us in early June, and we'll go from there. So thanks so much for your time, and hope you have a good rest of the week, and that your family and friends are healthy and safe, and you're hanging in there during this weird time. So thank you.